15 Lattafa fragrances that you can actually buy today. We're going to have Art of Arabia 1. We're going to have Zanzibar. We're going to have these and all these other 15 ones. The guy from the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicle, no, DC, Maryland, Virginia, texted me and said, can I make this video that I can actually buy? So every one of these fragrances were bought in May of 2024, starting out with Zanzibar by Asad Lattafa. This one has a nice clean lavender note mixed with some creamy vanilla, touch of fruit. Would you blind buy it? Maybe, maybe not. It's not necessary, but it's a decent 5-hour fragrance. The next one's pretty cool. It's called Honor and Glory. I don't know anything that it smells like, but when you first spray it, it smells like stinky feet. Not trying to be funny, but the pineapple is so sharp and synthetic in the beginning, it's terrible. But just wait 5 minutes and let it dry up, plus let it macerate. I'll teach you how to macerate later on in the video. This fragrance has creme brulee. If you don't know what that is, that's a dessert note, along with the beautiful pineapple note that comes out later with the vanilla. It has a splash of pepper, a touch of rose, and it turns down 5 hours later. Beautifully, lasts about 7 hours, projects moderate, and does smell very sexy. The next one's the very best. I'm on a professional Louis Vuitton fragrances. Very best L'Imicité by Louis Vuitton fragrance is called Jean Lo Immortal. It's an Alhambra, which is also a Lattafa company. The very best Azzaro's Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. The black Azzaro is called Anasam Silver. This is one of the strongest, longest lasting fragrances on this list. As the way I test it, I go in 90 to 100 degree weather and I make sure the fragrance lasts a long time. Beautiful lavender, clean apple notes. It just smells good. The next one has a beautiful rose note specifically placed with some vanilla notes. It's called Antiquity 1910. It reminds me of 1 million parfum or 1 million elixir. It is very creamy, very delicious, and very good. The next one is called Assad. I don't have the Assad, but I do have his brother, Alhambra Salva Intense. Assad is very TikTok trending fragrance, and it's very easy to get. Average price $25. Everyone that I know, and my nephew called me, my nephew Roland, he said, what is this Assad? And he even bought Sauvage Dior Elixir, and he didn't like that, and neither did his girlfriend. He's fresh out of college, so he knows. He goes to clubs and everything. Now, they didn't really like it, but he is in the Midwest, but it does have a punchy licorice style note. This thing here is more wearable for you college students, called Salvo Intense. It smells like Sauvage Eau de Parfum. Salvo Intense is better than Assad. If you are going to blind buy the fragrance and just want something that smells good, I would recommend Salvo Intense. If you're a niche collector, you must love Afro Leather. It's a copy of Mimo's African Leather. If you love that leather note, this isn't bad. Lasted about 4 to 5 hours. The next fragrance is the best fragrance cologne in the history of colognes. No cap. I'm not kidding. Legit. It's called Alhambra Tobacco. I don't even have to tell you how good this is. It's like raw honey tobacco that has wet leaves. I confuse myself with my Dior Tobacco color with this. It's the exact same smell. It's remarkable. I can't even believe it. The next fragrance you can still buy on the fragrances is Art of Arabia 1. This is the photo of it. Art of Arabia 1 has some beautiful aquatic notes mixed with incense, and it's a very good interpretation twist on Louis Vuitton imagination. I definitely would recommend you get Art of Arabia 1 by Lattafa. The next fragrance is Lattafa Harma. Don't you know TikTok Harma? It's a beautiful, sweet, sugary wood fragrance. It smells like the DNA of Angel Share, but it's not Angel Share. Then they made Lattafa Harma Kawa, which has coffee. I like this one better because it's just got that coffee note. If you like coffee, it smells so good. Then you have Kismet Angel. Okay, 7 hours strong on this, 7 hours strong on all these that I'm about to talk about coming up. Kismet Angel is very good. It's got the cognac note, and it's kind of expensive for a cologne. So if you can find this Montage Intense, it has a beautiful cognac note with the sugared wood, and it lasts even longer, up to 12 hours. I would recommend Montage Intense, coming in at $30. It's by Grandeur, which is probably a Lattafa company. Shout out to Captain Nemo. He sent me this brand new Lattafa called Atlas 80 milliliter fragrance. It is the clone of Megamari or Torisi. Megamari is an aquatic fragrance, and this is beautiful. If you want, anyone can can wear this. It's just an aquatic, beautiful, elegant fragrance. Now here is the number one compliment getter. It's called Nishani Ani. Ani means vanilla, but this is Nashit, and Captain Nemo also loves this fragrance. He's going to be wearing it in the next few weeks because he told me so. If you like those sort of Tom Ford high-end aquatic fragrances like Mega Mari, this is called Lattafa Atlas, as I just said. You will love Port de la Mer. The focus is on Neroli and Mandarin. It's juicy, it's delicious, it's elegant, and it lasts. It's called Port la Mer. It is also by Grandeur. Lattafa Vintage Radio is next. If you want a beautiful office fragrance that lasts all day, has clean, fresh notes, and some nice, delicious woods to replicate Inicio's Paragon, you get Vintage Radio. This can be hard to find. I have another fragrance that replicates Le Baumel, Le Parfum. It's called Tribal Intense. It is an awesome fragrance. One of the only fragrances that I really wear because it's so hot here in South Florida. I would 100%, if you can find the intense version of Tribal Intense, get this. It lasts all day. It's fresh, and my wife loves it. If you are a niche lover, be careful. This is not Blind by Worry. This is called Oudane by Lattafa. The Oudane is very, very strong oud that dries down to a cinnamon creamy scent. And when I say dries down, it's 5 hours later. This fragrance is a beast mode, lasts 10 hours. But to appreciate, you have to wait for the dry down. What does that mean? That means 5 hours later, it'll smell really sexy. But at first, it'll be harsh, dark, and nasty, to be quite honest with you, unless you're a fragrance enthusiast. The next one is totally mass appealing. The best rendition is called, it's a little hidden gem called Sumo Platinum by Lattafa, 90%, similar to Versace Dylan Blue, which is violet, fresh fragrance that everyone likes. You can wear this to the gym, you can wear this to the barbecues, and you can wear this to the hotel room. And now I'm going to teach you how to macerate. Remember I told you when I opened this fragrance out of the box from Amazon, it smelled like stinky foot? Well, now it's been 5 weeks later. It doesn't mean step one is to let your fragrance sit in a nice, cool, dry place. It makes the oils blend better and the whole composition becomes tighter, therefore enhancing the fragrance smell. So now when I spray this, gone is that very sharp pineapple. Actually, I prefer a little bit longer maceration, but you can do 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but minimum 2 weeks, I would say, on any type of fragrance, any brand. So therefore, it has helped this fragrance. What is step one? Step one is letting your fragrance sit. Just put it in a cool, dry place. I have done this so many times where I've shaken the bottle, and my friend is a chemist. He's an indie perfumer, and he told me, no, do not shake it. You're ruining it. So there's two different ways. You don't have to shake it. Some people like to shake it, and some people say handle with care, just like your friend who's got that brand new Dodge Charger Hellcat SRT, and he doesn't want anyone to scratch it, and he parks it a mile away from the grocery store. So that's step two, handle with care. Step one was put it in a dry, cool place. And step three is absolutely test it. Spray it as many times as you want throughout the whole maceration process. On day one, it doesn't gonna make any difference, but like on day 10, you test it, you spray it. Do I like this power? No, I'm gonna let it sit a little longer. I want it to be a little bit more pineapple-y. I want it to be just like this. It's perfect. And that's step three. The next fragrance on the list is called Lattafa Alhambra de Tux. It is one of the best YSL Tuxedo fragrance clones. You know, Tuxedo is a very exclusive fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent. It's got notes of patchouli and bourbon vanilla on the base. On top, it's got some citrus and black spices with coriander, which actually means citrus and black spices. Actually, the middle has a beautiful lily of the valley, which means clean, sexy, floral, sweet notes. So all that put together is the Tuxedo. However, I let this fragrance macerate. It's called Nile Oud. It's not a Lattafa fragrance, and it absolutely crushes this. It crushes suits. It's the very best YSL Tuxedo clone, authentic, 99.9% strongest, longest lasting, most projecting fragrance clone you can buy for YSL Tuxedo. It smells sexy. It's got that beautiful opening right out of the box, but I did let this one macerate 2 weeks. And if you want to see this other fragrance that's the very best, click on this video.